A summer-like Thursday night here outside Greater Baltimore as we've got a non-conference showdown for you as part of our CAA Game of the Week here on Lacrosse TV. The 12th-ranked Denver Pioneers making the trip east to take on the Towson Tigers. With that, we welcome you alongside the PLL All-Star Marcus Holman. I'm Travis Selchurch. A special night here for both coaches. Head coach Bill Tierney playing his final non-conference regular season game of his final season as the Denver head coach. And Towson coach Sean Nadelin, of course, coached for Coach Tierney back during his start of his coaching career for a couple of seasons at Princeton. It's going to be a special night for both these guys, Marcus.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a matchup of two very tough coaches, as you just mentioned there, Travis, and their teams take on the identity of those guys. And it's going to be a scrappy game here tonight, a rare out-of-conference game in April, but really looking forward to it.
Well, let's take a look at our players to watch in this one. For Towson, how about a freshman? He has stepped onto the scene, Joaquin Villagomez, and he leads the team with 20 goals so far this year.
Yeah, this kid's a goal scorer, and he wears number 26, just like a former Towson Tiger. A lot of people will know for his goal-scoring prowess, and that was Joe Sider back when Towson made a Final Four in 2017. Villagomez is 6'5". He uses his frame. You can see him kind of bodying up defensemen here, and he's a strong right-handed goal scorer.
Well, he's going to try to beat the goalie for Denver in Malcolm Kleben, who's coming off a double-digit save performance, made 10 stops in a really stout defensive effort last weekend against Villanova.
Yeah, that was his best effort of the season. He was about 70% in that game last weekend against Villanova. You can see in the frame here, he's a blocker. He's stocky. He takes up a lot of net, but he does allow a lot of rebounds, as you can see. So that'll be important to see if Towson can control them and maybe score on the offensive end. But Kleben leads a stout Denver defense that is ranked 8th nationally right now.
Well, this Denver team coming off maybe their most complete performance to date over the week. This past weekend against Villanova, a 12-6 win over a talented ranked Wildcat squad. However, Coach Bill Tierney, in talking to him this week, has said, look, the consistency throughout the season has been tough. Can they follow this up with another good performance here on a Thursday night against Towson? Opening face-off, a battle for it off the opening draw. Alex Stathakis, 13th in the country in face-off percentage, helps get it for Denver, and the Pioneers look at the first offensive set today. Team that likes to go quickly here offensively, as we've got a player in the crease. It'll be a crease violation on the Pioneers. And so a quick look, and they can't cash in.
Yeah, this Denver faceoff unit is not afraid to push the ball in transition, right? Their poles are very aggressive. Mercurio, Malik Sparrow, those guys will attack the cage in transition, and they almost had one right off the bat there.
Yeah, and you talk about Ryan Giles, another guy, a Maryland native, number 19, the long stick midfielder. He scored 3 goals here in his last 3 games combined. So those poles, you got to keep an eye on them if you're Towson as they get their first offensive set here today. Tigers rolling with Ryan Schreier, Nick DeMeo, and Villagomez starting at attack. Starting midfield, Mikey Weishauer, the freshman, Kyle Berkeley, the grad student, and Josh Weber, the junior from Maryland.
Yep, and look for DeMeo on the wing to be a shooter or a feeder as he was there, but he's an absolute great player on that lefty wing. They have weapons and guys that can do some different things. So it's a young group, but Coach Nads has been excited about their improvement as the season's gone on.
That's an early stop for Kleben. He comes up with his first save today. Towson drops back into their ride, trying to make this Denver team work on the clear. Got 10 more seconds to get it over midfield.
And a point that Coach Nadelin did make that maybe is one of the weaknesses right now of his offense was their shot selection. He says he loves the aggressiveness of some of their younger players, their freshmen, but at times shots that maybe have gone in when you're in high school don't really go in at the college level, especially at a level like this. So being smarter about shots, working for great shots, and not just settling for good ones.
This is Stephen Avery, part of that starting midfield unit for Denver, joined by Michael Lampert and Mick Kelly. J.J. Silstrop, Noah Manning, Richie Connell, the starting attackman here today once again for the Pioneers.
Yep, and a staple of Denver since Coach Tierney has been there, along with Coach Matt Brown, has just been sharp stick work, right? You'll see these guys cradle the ball once or twice and then take a hard dodge, but there's no backup there.
Yeah, it's a shot from Avery just wide. The backup tracked down by Colby Bars for Towson, and the Tigers get the possession back. So a couple of decent looks for the Pioneers, but nothing to show for it here in their first couple of possessions. 7 seconds left to get it over midfield here for Zingalia. Down to 1 second, and Coach Tierney was pleading for that whistle on the sideline. He gets it.
Yeah, really nice job on the ride there by Denver, right? In college lacrosse, you have 20 seconds to clear the ball over the midline, and the ball can be out of your stick. So if there's 19 and you throw it over the midline, that's a legal clear, but Denver was just able to stonewall him there right in front of the box. You know that Coach Tierney's going to be in those referees' ears for sure.
That has been one constant throughout his lengthy, legendary coaching career. Joked with John Danowski, the Duke head coach, who's gone up against Tierney a number of times throughout their careers, what it's like coaching against him. He said, you know, you kind of feel like you have to chirp the officials a little bit too and be in their ears because you don't want it to be one-sided. So sometimes it makes you get a little outside your comfort zone as you're an opposing coach.
Oh, I saw that firsthand for my years being at the University of Utah with a little rivalry that we started with my father as the head coach and Coach Tierney just jawing away at those officials trying to get calls.
There's a stop for Evan Long here for Towson, so the defense is holding strong. A bit what we expected coming in. Neither one of these teams going to blow you away offensively, at least what we've seen so far this year. And both defenses at times have been good. So no surprise to see no points yet, no goals yet here in our first couple of minutes.
Right, and we talked about the identity of these, I would say, programs, not even just these teams, but year in and year out, you can expect tough defense from a Towson team and from a team led by Coach Bill Tierney. So, no shocker there. Every goal is going to be tough tonight and is going to have to be earned.
This is Ryan Swain, part of the second midfield unit. He gives it up here for the Tigers. Nice move. Is that one stopped by Kleben again?
Nice save by Kleben. You can see, again, blocker style. He kicks out a rebound, but Denver is able to secure it. See if they might push here in transition or maybe play a sub game with one of their long sticks.
Jake Ettinger, the short stick teammate, he thought about it. Now you got Jack DiBenedetto, who will give it up, and now they'll get the offensive midfield on for the Pioneers. Question for Denver all season long. Who's going to beat their matchup? Who's going to create here in the 6-on-6? And we mentioned the transition. They've been good this year when they've gotten a couple of transition goals to help the offense. Who can step up here down the stretch of the season, create on their own? Here's a good look. And the first goal today. Will it count? It will. Diving across is Michael Lampert right on cue. He creates, and it's 1-0 Pios.
It's funny how I feel like, Travis, you've called so many of these games. Sometimes you just have an instinct and you say stuff before it might happen. But Lampert with an awesome take on this razor-style pick. This was made popular in the early 2010s by Ned Crotty, who scored 1 million goals on that angle. It allows you to dive across the crease or go back behind the goal. And Lambert there with a really hard take stays out of that inner circle crease and gets Denver on the board.
10th goal of the season for the juniors. Stathakis wins the faceoff, and he scores! Back-to-back quick ones for Denver, and they lead 2-0 on his second of the year.
Stathakis is so tough. And you saw off that first faceoff, this unit is aggressive. They are, I think they consider themselves more than just a Fogo unit, right? They want to play lacrosse. They want to get to the rack and create scoring opportunities. Nice one there by Stathakis.
So Stathakis has a goal. They had an opportunity off the face-off early. That one they cash in. They got another chance here. This time he gives it up and make it 3 in a row. The Pios have it going. Here in the first quarter, it's 3-0.
Make it take it for the Pioneers. And Stathakis is filling up the stat sheet for himself right now. That's like a face-off win, a ground ball, and an assist, all in 5 seconds there. And it's Richie Connell on the receiving end, just a catch and shoot from the lefty hammer. He knows what to do with it when he gets it on that high lefty wing.
That is 3 goals in the last 14 seconds of game action for Denver. That is remarkable as Stathakis wins another faceoff. This time, Towson doing a nice job slowing him down just to prevent any kind of break.
Yeah, geez, and then just steps right up to the X and wins the next one too. Definitely reminiscent of a former Denver Pioneer great and a current professional that's maybe the best in the world, and that's Trevor Baptiste. I'm sure if Trevor, you're watching, Stathakis making you very proud.
Step down shot, big save there for Long. Needed that for some momentum as that shot came high. And Trevor Baptiste, I believe I saw him score here against Towson during his college career. Tell you what, Marcus, it feels like a PLL type day in Greater Baltimore today. Temperatures in the mid-80s here at game time. This is not what players are used to in April.
No doubt. Spring is here for sure. These teams off a short week, and both of these teams actually playing again on Saturday, but certainly fresh in the early going here.
That one rung a Pioneers defender. Backup is there for Towson. Yeah, this is a unique time for a non-conference game here on this Thursday. Late in the season, both teams right smack dab in the middle of conference play. And a chance to build some momentum for both as they both are going to try to close conference play strong, put themselves in a position to maybe make a run here at the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of a game where, you can let your hair down a little bit. Obviously, you want to win for momentum, like you spoke about, Travis, but, losing doesn't really affect your conference, postseason chances. So, you can play a little bit looser and maybe have some fun. And obviously the goal is to win, but not a lot of pressure on either team in this situation tonight.
Here's Schreier. It's Weber. Gives it up top of the box. Nice move by Berkeley, but another deflected shot. Loose ball scooped up by the Tigers for a second. However, Denver gets it back, and they play it back to the goalie Kleben to start the clear.
Yeah, I think that was 2 or 3 blocked shots by the Denver defense there. Nice work. Again, they're 8th in scoring defense in the country, allowing under 10 goals a game, which in the shot clock era, if you're allowing under 10 goals a game, that's very impressive, and you're going to give yourself a chance to win any game that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see a whole lot of offenses that Denver goes against traditionally being held to single digits. They did that to Villanova, a very talented Villanova offense, by the way. Held them to just 6 goals. Kleben only gave up 4 in his time in net. I mean, a really impressive performance at Peter Barton Stadium last Saturday.
Yep.
Richie Connell goes behind the back with that shot. By the way, he scored that 3rd goal for Denver. 8th of the season for the former transfer from Richmond. Lampert again. This one shot way wide. And there's no backup there, so Towson will take over.
And Towson, settling in defensively, right? You take away those 2 face-off fast break goals, and it's a 1-0 game. So continue to just dig your heels in, get stops, and clear it. That's been a problem, but they do it here.
Make things a little interesting as they get it over the midfield line as we're past the midway point of this opening quarter.
Yep.
You joined us late. There's no score for the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then it only took 14 seconds for Denver to score 3 in a row. Leading 3-0 here. Connell, Lampert, and Stathak is the face-off man with the 3 goals so far today.
Towson going into a little bit of an invert here. And you can see Denver styles. They usually don't play the ball back behind the goal in those big little situations. We'll see how Towson adjusts.
Strong defense again by the Pioneers. Ball on the turf. Good battle for this one, and it's won by Denver.
Just tough defense, back of the head sliding, right? And those checks are coming down hard, putting the ball on the ground.
I believe that was Jimmy Freehill who helped create the turnover and able to pick it up.
Looks like we had a flag down too. Towson's going to be offsides. You can see them now with 7 guys in their defensive zone. You might as well just stay on there.
Connell. Back top of the box.
Something I've always, again, just admired about Denver, playing against them, watching them, is just that their stick work and their passing is a coach's dream, right? And there's no secret weapon for secret formula for how it gets there. It's just reps and reps of practice. And Coach Matt Brown is just relentless about stick work, and it pays off.
Good ball movement here. Down to 7 seconds, though, in this shot clock. They got to hurry. Colm Burnett gives it up. Shot on the run right into the stick of Long, and that will trigger the penalty. So we will see the Denver man-up unit for the first time today.
Yeah, but to your point, Travis, about what Coach Tierney was saying about their offense, that was a perfect possession where no one really exploded by their guy and went to the goal, right? The passing is all sharp, which I made a comment about, and guys are throwing skip passes and stuff. But at some point, you just got to run by your guy and put one in the back of the net, like Lampert did on that earlier possession. So maybe a little bit more aggressiveness from some of these Denver midfielders or attackmen.
Denver, just over 35% of the man-up so far this year. 11 man-up goals so far this season, as you got Noah Manning here at the top of the box. Sidearm pass. That, I think, rung his Denver player. Rebound collected by the Pioneers right in front, and we're going to check on the Pioneer who was down.
Yeah, that was close quarters. I think that's Connell.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And he was cutting, and it just so timed up exactly with the shot of his teammate.
That might have been Silstra up on the shot. I'm not sure who shot it, but someone's going to owe someone lunch or dinner.
Yeah, that is not a fun thing to have, especially when it's one of your teammates. Carlson triggers it back in. Manning now operating below goal line extended. Avery now at the top of the box. This is Stephen Avery. Good look. Another one that was blocked, that time by Colby Bars of Towson. Down to 8 seconds left on this shot clock as we are back to even strength. And they just send it to the corner. Good defensive stand by the Tigers.
Great kill there, right? Killing the man down, even though it was one of the Denver players that ate a shot. And then Bars eats a shot. He was preseason all CAA as an LSM. You'll hear his name being called. He just makes plays all over the field. But it's no coincidence, right? Again, we talked about these defenses. Like, someone watching may just be like, oh, they're getting lucky blocking these shots. But no, that's something that you practice, right? But it's also a mentality of your defensemen, right? To get their sticks and those bodies in the shooting lanes and to call stops.
Well, he just added an offsides call. It gives it right back to Denver. This is Malik Sparrow who brings it into the box. Second team All Big East performer last season as Denver's offense goes back to work. By the way, shout out to Nico Blankenship, the Denver Sports Information Director. The 3 goals in 14 seconds, a new D1 record for Denver lacrosse. Previous best was 16 seconds. And as you might expect, Marcus Trevor Baptiste was involved in that record back in 2017. Behind the back shot just high.
Witnessing history. Love it.
That was Mick Kelly trying to show off. He is from Towson, Maryland, the hometown kid, as we've got a timeout here on the field. 2:20 to go in this opening quarter. we will step aside. 3-0 Denver, a strong start for the 12th ranked team in the country. We welcome you back here to Johnny Unitas Stadium. A chance to remind you that we've got more CAA lacrosse coming for you on Saturday. CAA women's lacrosse as William & Mary takes the trip to Long Island to visit the Seawolves of Stony Brook. Should be a fun one to watch, especially that powerhouse of a lineup. 6th ranked Stony Brook taking on William & Mary. 11 a.m. Eastern time right here on Lacrosse TV. Meanwhile, here in Towson, Maryland, it's a 3-0 Denver Pioneers lead. As coming out of the timeout, they keep the possession. 42 seconds left in this shot clock. 2:20 to go in this opening quarter. Travis and Marcus back with you.
Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a set piece here from Denver, maybe a flip to a mumbo. See if they can get one of their shooters open.
Connell gives it up. Stephen Avery way at the top of the box. Move it along. Manning on the near side wing. He shoots and he scores. And so just like that, Denver has got their 4th goal of the day.
And you can't draw it up much better than that. Just crisp ball movement. The ball gets through X, which really, really makes the Towson defense slough in. And then at that point, Manning with the right-to-right juke and the off-hip shot. That's ideal offense for Denver as they lead now 4-0.
This is a dream start for the Pioneers so far. Had the 3 goals in 14 seconds, and now they get one late here in the opening quarter.
And Towson just definitely in need of some ball movement, some good shots, right? Had a couple shots that were blocked. Maybe try to get DeMayo on a little mumbo action, try to get his hands free. He's a great shooter.
Yeah, they just need to get something going offensively here. And that's not going to help. Denver, if they can clear, can hold for essentially one good look here at the end of the quarter. Make sure you maintain this 4-goal advantage and make sure you're the only ones who can score here at the end of the opening frame.
Yep, just let that ball die in this end of the field. I mean, a goal would be great, but you definitely don't want to allow any momentum for the other team going into the end of a quarter. So look to initiate between probably 15 and 20 seconds, maybe get that ball through X again. And then I liked how they're just attacking those Towson short sticks on the low wing areas.
They're going to take their time here. This is Joe Taraboletti, sophomore from Florida. He's got his man. Nice move. And a dump down to the doorstep. Will it count? It will. So with under 15 seconds to go in this opening quarter, it's J.J. Silstrop on a pretty feed, and it's 5-0 Denver.
Beautiful feed here from number 42. I believe that's Ned Forbush. Gets underneath and then finds Silstrop on the back pipe with a little twister feed. I thought he was going to shoot that, but it looked like at the last second he just pulled that pass across for Silstrop, and he knows what to do with it.
It's actually Joshua Carlson, the junior from Centennial, Colorado, who gets his first assist of the year. Had 6 goals coming into today. Picks up his first assist as Towson sends it right in front of Kleben, trying to see if they can get a fluke goal with under 5 seconds to go in the quarter. And Kleben, I would assume, will just hold on to this one. He will. So a strong start for Denver. They use those 3 goals in 14 seconds, a new Denver record to kickstart the scoring. They add on a couple more. They lead 5-0 after 1. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Well, Denver's Alex Stathakis has a 4-2 advantage at the faceoff X. Denver a 5-0 advantage after one quarter here at Johnny Unitas Stadium. Travis Eldridge, Marcus Holman back with you. Start of the second here, a special Thursday night edition of our CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. As that's a faceoff win for Matt Constantinides for Towson. Looking to get some offense going for the first time today, but Kleben has other ideas. He stops the bouncer.
Big stop there for Kleben on DeMeo, probably Towson's best shooter. Just able to gobble that up. No rebound.
Towson gets back defensively to stop the chance at transition.
And obviously no jet lag for the Pioneers, right? Traveling, across the country from Denver to Baltimore is not easy, but they're certainly ready to rock tonight, and they've proved that in the first quarter.
Yeah, really building off the momentum of that win last Saturday against Villanova. A lot of times you can go one of two ways. You either build on the momentum of that. Obviously, it was also Bill Tierney Day at Denver, so that some emotions around that game as well, celebrating the legendary head coach. As that one rings the top shelf. Mick Kelly, a step-down shot. The Towson kid makes it 6-0.
Towson kid is right. Out of Calvert Hall, right down the road from Towson University. I'm sure he's got some friends and family in the crowd, and they watched him set a pick, get mauled over, and then just bury a corner after he pops up off the ground. Nice play by Mick.
And speaking of the legendary coach Bill Tierney, the Denver Pioneers had a shoot-around practice this morning at William Tierney Field over at USA Lacrosse headquarters, not too far here from Towson. As they joked on social media, I wonder how they got that time on the field named after their head coach.
Well, Coach Tierney certainly has had an incredible life of coaching and leadership and national championships, of course. And it does seem that almost everyone in the lacrosse community is just like, one step away from knowing Coach Tierney as Towson gets on the board.
Finally, they get one. It's the freshman Joaquin Villagomez with his first of the day.
Joaquin, he's no joker. Going hard here. Right, this was very similar to the goals that we kind of highlighted in the opening, just leaning that right shoulder in and shooting off of that defenseman. You can kind of use him as a screen, and it didn't look like Kleben really had a good look at the shot there. So nice hard take from the freshman, gets Towson on the board.
21 goals now on the year as face-off violation gives it to the Tigers again. Kyle Berkeley on in the midfield. So a chance for Towson try to battle back a bit. This has been a tight series as of late. 3 of the last 4 games between Towson and Denver have been decided by 1 goal. But so far, it's been all Pioneers in this opening half. Weber gives it up to Berkeley on the far side, working against Sparrow, the LSM. Down on the doorstep. Good action there by Di Benedetto, and he helps force the turnover. That one deflected out by the Tigers.
Yeah, just a nice job getting your stick up in the passing lane there, knocking that pass attempt down. I think that got deflected off of Towson. Should be Denver's clear here. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But just kind of a opportunity for a momentum shift squandered there by Towson. Just a little sloppy with their passing, and they might be jumping into a 10-man ride here.
Trying to create something.
Holy moly.
Hit. Sparrow just ran over a Towson Tiger.
Oh,
and now we've got a flag down.
That's going to be offsides on Towson. And that is a legal play. As a ball carrier, you're allowed to knock a guy over the midfield line. You're at your own risk there as an attackman.
Malik Sparrow went beast mode on that play. And now Apologize for the technical difficulties. We do have the penalty. It is a 30-second offside penalty on Villagomez, who took the worst of that hit. It's like pouring salt under a wound. You take the hit and you also go offsides.
Yeah, that's, as an attackman, you know, and someone who prides himself on the ride, that's happened to me probably one more time than I'd care to admit. But, you know, you stand in there, you just got to be aware of that midfield line, and a smart play by Sparrow.
Extra man opportunity for Denver, but it's snagged out of the air. That was Colby Bars who made the interception. And the Tigers can kill off this penalty and also try to get something offensively. Bars gets it to Zingalia, who brings it over midfield. Just trying to run out of trouble. There was Schreier, and now Berkeley help settle things down for the Tigers. Back to even strength. 6-on-6 Lacrosse after the penalty.
Nice job again by Bars. He's been the man down stopper for Towson here with 2 knockdowns early on.
Weber, no rush, despite the fact that we're down to 23 seconds left on this shot clock.
Interesting. I'm still seeing only 5 guys out for Towson.
Yeah, the penalty, a different penalty may not have been released yet.
Yeah, it might.
We got a cross check on Villagomez to go along with the offsides. As Weber goes top shelf. Oh, what a move.
Number 12, Josh Weber, just hanging out up top. Travis and I are discussing what the penalty was. He's like, I'm going to get to the rack. Gets right underneath his defenseman and puts this one right above Kleben's left shoulder. Not a lot you can do about that shot. Nice hard take from the first-line midfielder.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they kind of lulled the defense to sleep for the Pioneers. They were waiting for the other penalty to be released, and then boom, he got him. Towson wins the ground ball battle off that face-off. They give it right back, though, in the midfield. Now they take it back. Reese Potter comes up with it. And another offensive set. Now 6-on-6 for the Tigers.
Yep, 6-on-6. You won 2 face-offs in a row. Man down, stop. All right. Can we capitalize? Take some momentum.
You've seen this from this Towson program over the years. You get down big, and all of a sudden they just kind of slowly find their way back in it. Berkeley's shot stopped by Kleben. Actually, I don't know if that got all the way into the goalie. They did not reset the shot clock.
Yeah,
still
like
40 seconds.
Bounced over. Yep. Weber again here.
Spins back. That was ambitious. A couple of pios in his face.
You see Weishar on that lefty wing, number 1 for Towson. He's getting the pole, so might not be as aggressive as he has been earlier in this season.
Villagomez got double teamed there quickly. Oh, good luck. They had Schreier right there on the doorstep, and that's over and back. It's a turnover as J.J. Silstrop picks it up. There was a flash by Schreier, the freshman, right in front. Just couldn't come up with it, and the ball came all the way back over midfield.
Yeah, so Coach Nadelin spoke about, you know, that youth for Towson, right? 3 out of their top 6 guys are true freshmen. So you're going to have some possessions where it's going to be ugly and it might not be as coordinated or, you know, feel like the flow is there, kind of like Denver's offense is. But those kids have bright futures and, you know, they're going to continue to be aggressive and get to the rack.
Yeah, those are the guys you see. They get playing time right away as freshmen, and all of a sudden by their junior and senior years, you go, oh, this is one heck of an offense.
Right. You're going to have to deal with some growing pains.
pass a little low for Lampert, but he tracks it down. Still 19 seconds left on this shot clock. Lampert from X. Try to get something here. 7 seconds now on the shot clock. That one rings the bar, resets it. Denver with the rebound, and now a fresh 60.
Great patience from Denver on that possession. They get a little pick slip. And the shot rebound. Long got a nice piece of it, but Denver gets a fresh 60. And they can just, this is what they can do to defenses, just grind and grind with great stick work. We'll see if Towson can hang in there.
Had some different midfielders on there. Now Mick Kelly and Avery come on. So they get some fresh legs in the midfield to go along with keeping this long possession. Avery's pass deflected by McNamara, but kept alive here by Denver. Once again, now down to 15 seconds on the shot clock. Skip pass back outside. Step down shot, and Kelly cashes in. His second of the night.
I think that's back-to-back for Kelly now. Feeling it in his home city. And like we said, that reset of that shot clock, right? In the era where, defenses are used to playing for 60 seconds or 70 seconds. If you can extend those possessions out to a minute 30, a minute 45, that's, pre-shot clock era stamina that defenses just, they don't have these days. And Denver with a nice job just working the ball around, they end up with a 8-yard step down and they can it.
All right, stops the 2-goal Tigers run. Back to a 5-goal advantage for Denver, and they win the faceoff. It just makes it even tougher for this Towson defense, who just played a ton of defense in that last possession. Now they go right back to work. Coming downhill, here's Carlson.
Denver playing a sub game with their LSM, trying to get Towson's faceoff guy trapped on. I think they got him in the sub game.
And it's somehow kept out by Long. Wasn't the prettiest save in the world, but it stays out. A big stop to keep this a 5-goal game.
Hey, they don't ask how. They ask how many, right? So
some baggy shorts.
That's right. Add it to the save column.
John Galloway, even in the 80-degree temperature, he'd be rocking the sweatpants.
Yep, Dylan Ward.
Yep. Whatever it takes to keep it out. Goalies today, the joggers that they got are a lot more slim cut than what we were used to even in your days, Marcus.
Yeah, they need that. They need that early 2000s, that late 90s baggy suit.
Austin Dukeman trying to beat his matchup. Ryan Swain in there on the midfield here for Towson as well. This is DeMeo. Haven't heard much from him today. Dukeman.
Man, Towson's defense, or Denver's defense, just digging in. Short sticks, poles.
DeMeo, just a little hesitation move. He beats his man, and he's got his first of the night.
I think Denver fans would have probably hoped I waited until after the possession was over to make a comment about the defense.
The old announcer jinx.
Happens every time. Waiting for DeMeo to kind of get going here. He's a playmaker. Just kind of hits a little rocker step on that low wing, and he's such a dynamic left-handed sweep shooter that I think DiBenedetto was just waiting for him to roll back and just kind of hit him with the hezzy and nice low-angle finish.
He did it against the reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Week. Konstantinides wins the faceoff, goes right in, bouncer. Back-to-back for the Tigers. They get a face-off goal.
Konstantinides is feeling the Fogo love from the booth. He's like, let me get a touch. Second team All-CAA last year. Right, these are the momentum plays that are huge. Able to just drive right down the heart of that Denver defense and that shot is way tougher than it looks. You're running straight at the goal. You've got to like contort your body and kind of shoot that twister style motion to be deceptive. And he does a great job. Then he backs it up with a face-off win, and we got a timeout for Towson.
Yeah, those are two really big plays. You get the goal from DeMeo, that's great, but all of a sudden a 5-goal game becomes a 3-goal game, and you've got the possession. Smart timeout there from Sean Nadelin. Make sure he keeps the possession here for the Tigers, lets them get all set up offensively, trying to build on some of this momentum again. Another 2-goal run. With the timeout, a chance to remind you we got some more college lacrosse coming for you Saturday here on Lacrosse TV. We continue our CAA men's lacrosse coverage with Fairfield taking on Monmouth. We'll be in Fairfield, Connecticut as the Stags take on the Hawks. Opening faceoff set for 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can see that game right here on Lacrosse TV. Monmouth, of course, one of the newest members in the CAA, along with Stony Brook and Hampton. Hampton, the team that Towson will be playing this weekend right here at Johnny Unitas Stadium. Meanwhile, Denver continues their East Coast swing. They'll head up to New York to take on St. John's on Saturday. And Marcus, we were talking about this point in the non-conference slate, and for Denver, ranked 12th in the country, coming off a ranked win against Villanova, they've got a win over Ohio State, a win over UNC. This is the point where you gotta, if you're Denver, if you want to have a chance, maybe if you get to the Big East championship game and lose, if you want to have a chance in an at-large, you take care of business today, and you got to take care of business then again on Saturday.
Yeah, you're thinking that you probably have to run the table here. You're sitting at 5-5, and if the tournament started today, you'd be a bubble team for sure. You got St. John's, you got Providence and Marquette coming up as conference foes, and then the Big East tournament has been anybody's game the past couple years. I don't know if the number 1 seed has won that tournament. It's been some upsets, and anything can happen.
Berkeley draws a flag as he dives across the crease. And I think the Tigers are going to go man up here. Man up unit that has not had a ton of success this year. Just 8 man up goals, 26% on the season. But getting one here would be gigantic.
Gigantic. And it's good, if you're a Towson fan offensively, the past 2 possessions, your big dogs are stepping up, right? DeMeo is a stud. Everyone knows that. And then Berkeley has been a stalwart of this offense for the past couple of seasons. Second team All-CAA last year. So it's good to see those veterans step up. We mentioned all the freshmen, right? That balance is going to be critical for Towson.
So here we go. Extra man opportunity for the Tigers, trailing by 3 late here in the first half. Good stick work defensively there by Denver to poke it free. It was Freehill got a stick in there. Actually, excuse me, that was Giles. Ryan Giles, the junior from Maryland. Berkeley. DeMeo, top of the box, tries to skip it down low, and it comes all the way through to Kleben.
Yeah, just stared that skip down a little bit too long, was kind of backpedaling. Right, if you're going to throw a skip pass on man up, you better be decisive about it, and you better be moving your feet either towards or, away from your target as a way to be deceptive.
Nice move by Jake Ettinger, the short stick D-midi, to get it into the offensive end here for Denver. As they are back to even strength, Pioneers kill off the penalty.
And a subtle thing on that man up was, the knockdown of the ball behind the goal, right? That seems to be some good scouting from Coach Tierney, Coach Gallant, their defensive coach, right? Like disrupting that flow of that play early on kind of caused Towson to just sit in a 3-3. Denver's able to get a stop.
Anything that can take the extra man unit out of rhythm, as Silstrop has that one hit the tree that is Garrett Zingalia.
Silstrop, headshot count is now at 2. Zingalia and his own teammate, Richie Connell.
Zingalia's a tough guy to get it around, as Silstrop this time finds room, and he gets it by everybody. his second of the day, makes it 8-4.
Not to say that he can't shoot from range, but Silstrop is virtually automatic around the crease as a finisher with his left hand. You see just sneaking that back pipe. And Denver's field balance, as you can see from that aerial view, is just so solid. They have a guy on the crease. They have adjacent outlets for their Dodgers. And then Silstrop's able to fill in that back pipe for a skip lane for a dunk.
That was a really pretty feed. No look from Michael Lampert. 20 goals now in the season for Silstrop as he's got 2 tonight. 3+ goals 3 times so far this year. As we tick toward 2 minutes to play in this first half. Pioneers have come out firing their final non-conference regular season game of the year.
It looks like Towson may have jumped into a zone. Just guys sharing responsibilities, passing off Dodgers. You can kind of see that with the short sticks stacked on the crease.
Top of the box, Carlson. Now Silstrop looking for the skip lane. Good movement here by Denver. However, it slips away and it gets to Long in the crease.
And I like that mix up there by Towson to jump into that zone, right? It's just late in the quarter. You know, I feel like you've played more defense than offense this half. So, you know, something to just throw Denver out of rhythm. They get a stop. Chance to score here.
Minute to go in the first half. Towson can hold this thing for the final possession. Essentially no difference between the shot clock and the game clock here at the end of the half. Here's the freshman from Archbishop Spalding, Mikey Weishauer. Now it's Weber holding on to it. Would he go around 25 here, Marcus?
Yeah, you know, there's always the debate. It's a little bit awkward as a Dodger and a ball carrier, but I think anywhere between 20 and 15, so you can get the ball through X. They got Berkeley fading out.
They move it along and they dash in. Just like they drew it up, it's the freshman Weishauer with his first of the day, 10th of the year.
Freshman to freshman, and if you're a Towson Tiger lacrosse fan, this connection might be something that you're going to be seeing the next 4 years. It's Villa Gomez driving the corner, and there's Weishauer with the finish and the little Archer celebration. He's fired up. Big goal for Towson before the half.
Weishauer, very highly regarded coming out of high school, ranked the 14th overall recruit by Inside Lacrosse, won the C. Markland Kelly Award in Maryland when he was in high school at Archbishop Spalding, and he is living up to it now. 15 points in his freshman year.
Had the misfortune of coaching against him last spring, and he was one of the most impressive high school players I've seen in a while.
Towson, one more chance, 6 seconds. Villa Gomez with 4. Trying to get free, left hand, rebound loose, and Kleben covers it up. And that is how this first half will end. So Denver jumps out to the 6-0 lead. They were cruising, but Towson not going away. They cut the deficit to 3 here at the break. We'll be back with second half action for you in a bit. But for now, it's halftime on Lacrosse TV. Denver with an 8-5 lead over Towson in our CAA Game of the Week. The sun setting on what has been a beautiful day in greater Baltimore. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s today. Temperatures cooling off a bit, but the action heating up as we get ready for the start of the second half in our CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Travis Eldridge, Marcus Holman back with you. Denver, the 12th ranked team in the country with an 8-5 lead here on the road as we get ready for the start of the third. And Marcus, it really was the start of this game for Denver. They scored the 3 goals in 14 seconds, jumped out to a 6-0 lead. The difference in this first half so far.
Yep, Towson able to scrap back in that second quarter and kind of just even this game out a little bit. You're looking at the stats and nothing glaring jumping off the page. Face-offs, Towson actually has an advantage there. but they have a couple more turnovers as well. Goalies are even at 5 saves apiece. So we'll see who comes out of halftime with some more juice. We'll see if these two great coaches made some adjustments, and off we go.
Konstantinidis and Stathakis battling once again. Stathakis pushed it forward, trying to pick up the ground ball, but it's a battle here for the opening face-off of the third quarter. Towson with it as Reese Potter comes up with the ground ball, and the Tigers will get the first possession of this second half.
Tough ground ball there from Potter. Nice 3v3 scrap at that face-off. X, you see the wings. Obviously, the face-off guys have the first crack at it, and these two tonight have been winning a lot to themselves, but wing play, vitally important as well for those 50-50 ground balls.
Weber back up top of the box, shot off the crossbar, rebound back out here to the Tigers.
Tigers coming out swinging here.
Keep the possession as they work it around the outside. Weber trying to dodge down the alley, circling back to the middle. Weishauer couldn't handle that pass, and Denver picks up the ground ball.
Little bit of a force there from Weber to jam the crease. I liked his dodging angle, his redodge. He changed his speeds, but sometimes those looks to the crease are a little bit of a mirage. I think Denver does a great job of collapsing down and helping out, not allowing those easy goals from inside.
Spoke about it in the first half. Denver has liked when they've been able to get some transition goals so far this year. They have today. It's one of the reasons they scored 3 goals in 14 seconds. This time Towson does a good job getting back. Stephen Avery dodging from outside. McKelly, pair of first half goals. The Towson, Maryland native coming back to his hometown.
And it looks like Towson's staying in that, that kind of pseudo zone defense, passing guys off, protecting the crease. If you're Denver, right, it's hot ball movement. It's playing in gaps and looking back to where the defense kind of came from. But zone defenses are not easy, especially if you don't have range shooters and guys that are confident. So nice adjustment there from Coach Nads and his staff coming out. They used it right at the end of the second quarter there, and it worked, so they stuck with it. But this is a problem they've had all year, and that's clearing.
Yeah, just the pressure all over Towson's short stick team mini Ray Glass, and Denver takes it back. I mean, Matt Brown, with as talented of an offensive mind as he is coming up with something. I'm sure was talking about the zone in the locker room, probably had something coming in. And you have to imagine Denver will continue to try to adjust throughout. That honestly, this matchup, you have the likes of Sean Nadalin and Matt Musey working on the defense for Towson against the mind of Matt Brown. It's a fun matchup.
For sure. And the tough part about zone as an offensive player is like you can get into this lull of just passing the ball around, right? Because you're not really being pressured. But you need to maintain that aggressiveness and speed of your dodges. Don't just pass the ball around the perimeter. You got to be aggressive and if you can get to the rack, do it. But 2 straight stops there for Towson.
They're looking for that skip pass, a bunch of sticks in the passing lane for the Tigers as Ryan Swain brings it into the attacking end. Chance for Towson to get back within 2 here early in the third quarter, but Swain couldn't handle that pass. Ball on the turf, pushed forward by the Pioneers and into the attacking end for Silstrop.
Little sloppy on both ends to start.
Second half starting kind of like we saw the first half start. Defense is standing tall.
Yep, failed clears. Very similar.
So it looks like Denver's in a 1-4. They're going to initiate from a wing, carry, try to just change the shape of your offense. Look inside.
And down on the doorstep, they did a nice job pushing the offensive player behind, and Towson forces the turnover. So another stop for this Tigers defense. Can they get something in this end of the field? Come into this game averaging just over 11 goals a game this year. And if they can somehow get close to that mark, they certainly are going to have a chance in this game. Going to need a big second half, though.
Gonna have to somehow manufacture the double digits here.
Weber back to the right. Moves it along Schreier. Schreier, by the way, 3 straight games with a hat trick. Number 2 in white for Towson is Weishauer, who got one in the first half, shoots wide.
Yeah, you see Weishauer after his goal, I think, has just been a little bit more poppy and more aggressive. He's getting pulled. Weber has a short stick. Schreier has a short stick. But I think if you like those matchups against those poles,
there it is.
Them.
Kyle Berkeley, an emphatic way to get his first goal of the night.
Berkeley's like, I'll challenge my matchup any day of the week. And just a strong right to left split dodge, right? Just the ball movement and patience by Towson that just shrinks the Denver defense. And at that time, Berkeley's initiating his dodge at 15 yards. And by the time he rolls back, he's at 10, and he has got a cannon.
Now 18 goals on the season for Berkeley, the grad student out of the Calverton School in Maryland, as Denver wins a faceoff. Tigers back within 2, now at 8-6.
And Coach Tierney on the coach's call we had, Travis, was just very complimentary of the job Coach Nadalin has done at Towson, just in terms of recruiting. And specifically, I think about him recruiting in the state of Maryland. You think about a kid like Kyle Berkeley from Calverton. That's not a top-ranked school in Baltimore. And, sometimes he's getting these maybe 3 or 4-star guys that are from public schools in Maryland. And they, he has a program, he has a system of toughness and grit. And, he's developed a lot of pride out of these kids over the past 10, 15 years.
McKelly on the doorstep is Silstrop, and it counts. Tiptoes the crease. Kelly to Silstrop, and Silstrop has a hat trick.
We mentioned maybe some of the lower ranked schools in the Maryland area. Calvert Hall is one of the elite schools, and that was Mick Kelly, the Calvert Hall product, on that underneath dodge. Beautiful cross crease pass to Silstrop, who just is hanging out in his home there on that lefty pipe. I actually thought that Long might have reached across and gotten a piece of that, but Silstrop just able to muscle it past him.
Towson wins a face-off. You mentioned the mixture of talent that Towson has brought in. I think that's one of the fascinating things of the job that Sean Nadalin has done and this program has in recruiting. It's the mixture of finding some of the Maryland public school kids along with the guys that are going to the Archbishop Spaldings and the Calvert Halls from the MIAA, and then bringing in, you got some guys from all over the country that have come in here to play for this program.
Yep, Long Island, guys from all over.
We have a flag down. Towson's about to go man up.
Thinking that call was a hold on that DeMeo dodge. Not quite sure who the guilty party is there on Denver.
Goes against the short stick D midi Casey Wilson. So 6-on-5 here for the Tigers. Now with Schreier had a good look, but couldn't get it in and out of his stick. Ettinger picks up the ground ball, and that's a really nice move. Gets himself out of trouble. Now Denver will try to clear. They do.
Yeah, and maybe just a little too impatient there by Towson, just trying to jam the crease there on that first cut. Right? Usually those plays on man up, that first cut is open like 50% of the time, and it's usually just used as a decoy to just continue the offense and move the ball. But I think that was Weishauer on the feed. Just maybe a little too impatient there.
And just like that, we're back to even strength. 30-second man up released. Denver starting to adjust a little bit to this zone look. That shot from Manning came from a little closer in, finding ways to get a little bit tighter toward the goal from on these shots from the outside. Lampert sends it behind. Silstrop gives it up. Avery here on the near side. Now Mick Kelly at the top of the box. Under 10 seconds to shoot for Denver. Kelly spins back to his left, passes low. And Towson comes up with another stop. Actually, yeah, well, it went out of bounds off the Tigers, but the shot clock bailed them out, so they will get the possession on the shot clock violation.
It looked like they were maybe just trying to keep it on the ground just to secure that shot clock violation. But either way, Towson, what's that, maybe 4 out of 5 stops this quarter? 3 out of 4 maybe?
Yeah, they've given up just the 1 goal here in the third, each team with 1. Still a 3-goal margin. Game has been played at a very deliberate pace. Both defenses certainly kind of playing at the pace in which they won.
No doubt. And outside of the face-off transition, really haven't gotten any clean breaks.
DeMeo swims and he scores. Sneaks it in that far post. It's 9-7.
And DeMeo just operating in his lefty wing here. Right, again, just not so much worried about the matchup, whether it's a pole or a shorty. He's able to challenge there, and nice swim move, redodges the slide and finishes, fading to X. Nice take by DeMeo.
So this is where Towson has gotten here a couple of times in the last couple of quarters. They get within 2. They get the possession. Can they make this a 1-goal game? That's when you start to really dial up the pressure here on Denver.
Yep. Huge possession here. Big face-off win there by Conceptinides. And looks like Towson will roll out their first midfield unit here. Berkeley, Weishauer, and Weber.
This is Weishauer, the freshman. Picked up his 10th goal of the season earlier today. He dodges down the far alley. Now Weber on the near side. Berkeley draws a crowd. Pass just a little high for Schreier. However, they will hold on to the possession and they reset the shot clock. I think that was a loose ball whistle against Denver.
Yep, loose ball push. And what that does, again, it resets that shot clock back to 60. So Towson can just grind. They're definitely playing with a little bit more pop. I like the way they're individually challenging their matchups.
DeMeo, tough angle shot just wide. He's got the backup there.
I don't know if that's a spat tape or an ankle brace. Looks like a spat that DeMeo's rocking, like the old school look.
He's got an old school feel to him.
Yeah,
Brother
little Kevin Huntley on that lefty attack, that low wing.
Brother Anthony, of course, part of Maryland's championship team, is around the back shot from Berkeley is wide. Back out top, Weishauer. 10 seconds left on this shot clock. His shot deflected. DeMayo picks it up. Does not reset it. DeMayo's got to hurry. Weber trying to squeeze through the defense from the ground. He shoots it, but it's a shot clock violation.
And great defense from Denver. Just a bend, don't break mentality there in like a vital possession where you can feel the momentum kind of shifting Towson's way. They get a bunch of shots off, but not able to convert.
Wow. It's turned right back over.
Oh, man, if we could have a zoom in on Coach Tierney right now, I'm sure it would not be pretty.
So the Tigers get the possession back under 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Towson once again a chance to pull within one. And as good as this Denver defense has been today, they have seen a lot of this Towson offense in this quarter. Pass high for Villagomez. Can he keep it in and keep possession? Loose ball somehow stays in the field of play.
Yeah, and you got 4 Towson guys and 2 Denver guys. Yeah, I was about to say.
That one's got to come up white. It
yeah,
does.
4v2 over there for sure.
Dukeman picks up the ground ball. Still 30 seconds left in the shot clock. Ryan Swain, one of the captains of this team. Wow. Rolling around, it's Villagomez who makes it a 1-goal game.
Villagomez doing what he does best. That's score goals, turn the corner with his big right hand. You know, we mentioned 6'5". Here he just crease cuts. I like that he takes the extra step there, just leans that shoulder in, protects his stick, and then the shot location, low and away. It's a goalie's worst nightmare, and that's a huge goal for Towson.
Give the assist to Ryan Swain on Villagomez's second goal of the night. 3 points now for the freshman. And we've got ourselves a game here. Ground ball off the face-off here in the Towson end, and it's picked up by the Tigers. Ball loose again. Bars trying to battle for it. This is a heck of a ground ball battle.
These are going to be the deciding plays of the game.
Bars, once again, has a beat on it. We got all sorts of red and white jerseys scrambling for this one. Finally, it's Denver who scoops it up.
The marathon ground ball.
Di Benedetto comes up with it, and that is huge for this Denver defense because you get the feeling they probably just need a breather on that end of the field.
No doubt. And now just a big possession here as we enter final minute of the third.
Minute and 10 seconds to go in the quarter. This is as close as Towson has been since it was 1-0. And it wasn't 1-0 real long because Denver scored the first 3 goals in 14 seconds. Towson trailed 6-0 in this game. They've gotten it within 2 a couple times. Finally have gotten it back to a 1-goal deficit. Kelly, back top of the box, Avery. Ever since Towson dropped into this zone, it's been a little tougher for this Denver offense. Lampert scored the first goal of the game, couple of points today. Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Pioneers. Step down shot, Kelly. It got the piece of the goalie. Long keeps it out. Big ground ball here for Towson, and they grab it.
Might have numbers if they push here.
Down to 10 seconds to go in the quarter. DeMayo dodges. Back up top. He's got a man. Fake. And just high from Berkeley. And that is how the quarter will end. Berkeley got the shot off in time, but he couldn't get it on frame. So it'll be Denver with a 1-goal advantage as we go to the fourth. Do not go anywhere. 15 more minutes between the 12th-ranked team in the country, the Pioneers, and the Tigers. Fourth quarter coming up from Towson here on the CAA Game of the Week. We welcome you back here to Towson, Maryland, Johnny Unitas Stadium. We've got a good one. Denver with a 9-8 lead here in non-conference action. Our CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Travis Eldridge, Marcus Holman back with you. Big face-off win for Alex Stathakis. It's been a battle between him and Konstantinides today. Two guys who are both close to 60% on the year at the face-off X. Stathakis is at 60. Konstantinides at 56% coming in, and it's been a entertaining battle at the face-off X between these two teams.
Yeah, Towson definitely pulling ahead there in the third quarter, Konstantinides. But, you know, it was funny talking to Coach Tierney this week. I asked him, maybe, what's the strength of this team been? Or, what has been something you can rely on? Because he mentioned they've been so inconsistent. And that he said the face-off play was something that they've just come to find as a strength of their team. So to have that not be a strength tonight, let's see how they can respond to it with some limited possessions in this offensive end. And obviously Towson throwing in a wrinkle here with, changing up their defenses.
By the way, also a different goalie for the Tigers here in the second half. It's Luke Downs, but that one squirts by him. J.J. Silstrop has his fourth, and it's back to a 2-goal Pios lead.
Big goal to start the fourth quarter for Silstrop. You can see here this initiating dodge, and that's what you have to do against the zone is even though a guy might, quote unquote, be covered inside, if a defenseman is on your back and you throw an accurate pass to a shooter like Silstrop, he's going to be able to catch, and with a quick release, puts one home. I think that's his fourth of the night for the senior.
Yeah, leading the way with 4 goals. Noah Manning picks up his second assist. He's got 3 points, the sophomore from British Columbia. And a violation on that face-off by Towson gives it to Denver again. So back up by 2. They have led throughout. They have not trailed in this game. They go back to work. That's at times been the story of this. When the teams have made runs in this game, it's been because of long, extended offensive sets and getting face-off wins to kind of add a couple and put a couple of together.
Yep, and that's the formula, right? Is maintaining that momentum. And we talked about Stathakis, but fourth quarter starts up and he wins 2 in a row. It's sometimes face off. The stats aren't as important as like the timing of them to just keep that momentum.
Mick Kelly hounded by Garrett Zingalia behind. They go down to the doorstep. It's Silstrop again. What a feed. And Silstrop has a 5-5er.
5 for 5. 5 G's for number 5. And I think 3 or 4 of them have come from about 2 yards away from the goal. You would definitely be making alum Eric Law proud, the way that he's able to just occupy space and finish around the cage, right? It looks very easy, but it takes a level of IQ that you're thinking ahead to where the defense is going to be or where they're not going to be. And then obviously it takes great feeders too. We saw that on display there.
That assist goes to Lampert. Another pretty feed from one of these Denver offensive players. Towson wins a much-needed face-off. Now back down by 3. Villagomez waits for the offensive midfield to come on. Slow start, really making this an uphill battle for Towson. Remember, he trailed 6-0 in this game.
Yep, Coach Nadal team's never going to give up. Just clawing their way back in, pun intended, Tigers.
Well played, Marcus. Weishar. Goal in the first half. Now Berkeley. Got DeMeo on the wing. Berkeley streaking in. Shoots just high.
And you think back to that possession right before the end of the third quarter with Berkeley throwing a hitch and getting to the middle of the field, almost able to convert, would have been an amazing goal for Towson.
Weber hesitates. Down to 10 seconds left on this shot clock. DeMayo tries for the acrobatic shot, and it goes. What a finish.
Look at that strut from DeMayo, too. He knows what's up. He's feeling it.
Nick DeMayo with one for his highlight reel for his hat trick goal.
And DeMayo's a bit of a streaky player. Sometimes we've seen him go games without scoring. Here he's heating up a little bit. Short time on the shot clock, drives up to his weak right hand. He rolls back to that left hand, popularized by the legend John Grant Jr. I think he got lifted there, so it was like a one-handed behind the back, even more impressive.
Yeah, that is unreal. Got a call on this face-off. Originally, they pointed like that ball was going to be Denver's. Now they're pointing it to Towson. Austin Stewart picks it up, and the Tigers another possession.
Austin Stewart came flying into the picture there. It looked like he got leveled. I'm not quite sure by who on Denver, but I think they're calling interference. Right? You're allowed to contact someone off the ball, but it has to be in a range of where that ground ball is, right? If you're 15 yards away from the ground ball, it's going to be called for interference. If you're 2 yards away, it's a legal check.
I think that was a shot from Villagomez that got scooped up by Berkeley on the other side. Now DeMayo, who's feeling pretty good about himself, sends it behind, back to Berkeley. Midi invert, spins. Nice save by Kleben.
Big save.
That was a heck of an individual effort by Berkeley, but Kleben too good.
Kleben just sliding across to that off hip. Berkeley on the inside roll. Towson with a ride back. They might have numbers here if they push.
Here come the Tigers. And Weber's not going to push the envelope here. Denver did have a couple of guys back. Nothing wide open. And so DeMayo will settle it down for the Tigers. 11-9. Just over 10 minutes to go here in regulation.
Looks like the second line coming out for Towson.
Got Jonathan Bender in there. He gives it up. Kind of a second line midfield by committee. About 6 different guys that the Tigers will rotate in there. Dukeman lost it.
Good defense by Sparrow there. Stick out in the gloves, keeping it simple.
30 seconds left in this shot clock for Towson. Bender gets back to the right. Now gives it up. DeMayo. He wants to get to his left hand. Great feed off the crossbar. That was Schreier flashing in.
Great. And you see DeMayo. Look at him call for it on the wing. He's feeling it right now. I would get him the ball, work some two-man action on the wing. Great look to Schreier inside. I don't know if that hit the pipe or yeah.
Yeah, it hit the crossbar, so it resets the shot clock.
You can kind of tell sometimes by the reaction of the sideline, right? On those pipe shots.
Swain across the middle. Kleben keeps it out. Or actually, it was deflected. Here comes Denver. And they'll slow it down with the 2-goal lead. No need to force a shot that's not there.
They got numbers. You got 4 on 3. Oh, man.
Now look out. You got defense coming onto the field as well. Always dangerous to hold that ball by the substitution box.
You can see Denver, I mean, I don't know if the coach was giving him something from the sideline. You know, time is quickly becoming a factor, but I would have liked them to see them maybe push it, try to score an odd-numbered goal, just because this zone defense, I feel like, has given them a little bit of trouble in the settled 6-on-6.
Just over 20 seconds left on the shot clock for the Pios. Step down, shot kept out. Luke Downs coming up with this stop. His second save since coming in here for the second half.
Downs with a huge save. Love seeing that. Goalie change at halftime. Stepping up, making a play for your team.
Here is DeMayo. He comes right to get it out here top of the box. He and Berkeley have even if they haven't scored, the two of them have helped create a bunch of chances here in the fourth.
Yep, Berkeley with 9 shots, DeMayo with 7, right? Like, those are the guys you want to step up in these big games. They're going to have to lead the way for Towson.
Weishar, his pass deflected. Another good play defensively by Denver.
Maybe a timeout here if you scoop it up.
I think that was Wilson who got a stick in the passing lane. Ground ball is scooped up by the Tigers, and they draw a flag.
That was DeMayo, too, up top, playing free safety on the ground ball.
So man upcoming for Towson. Berkeley.
Short time here on the shot clock.
Has his stick lifted. Rebound. Schreier couldn't get it past Kleben, and now we'll get the penalty.
Look at a lot of guys leaning over on their sticks. Some shepherding going on out there. A guy holding his stick like a shepherd's staff.
I mean, don't forget about the heat.
Yeah.
I mean, we have not seen a lot of temperatures in the 80s so far this season. So you have a day where temperatures haven't cooled off all that much here in Towson from the mid 80s that we were seeing at the start of this game.
Yeah, and that humidity too is, there's not a lot of humidity out in Denver at the, mile high altitude that you're used to playing with. It's drier, but the humidity is definitely a real thing.
So a man up situation here for Towson. Man, could they use a extra man goal? Bender. Got DeMayo here up top. He and Berkeley. Villagomez takes a shot. That's wide. Backed up by Bender.
I think that got deflected by a stick, maybe. No reset. Shot clock at 30. Looked like it was a minute penalty, so they got 8 seconds left. Yep.
Berkeley. Inside Schreier. Ooh. They finally got Schreier exactly what he wanted. The freshman's first of the day, and it's back to a 1-goal game.
That's big for Schreier. Past 3 possessions, he had that cut from DeMayo that he hit the crossbar. And then on Berkeley's drive earlier in this possession, he had a rebound attempt that he just couldn't quite get on cage. But here he's floating around in the middle, right? Catch and release. Great job by the freshman just to know that there's going to be pressure on his hands. There's not really any time for a cradle there, and you're just trying to get it on frame. He does that. Towson scrapping back.
So 11-10, a violation on Stathakis. Konstantinides gets another face-off win, and the Tigers can pull even. And 6-0. I do not know if many people saw this coming, but all the credit in the world to this Towson team. They have not gone away.
Yep, they've outscored Denver 10-6 since that opening quarter.
I mean, exactly what you would expect from a Coach Nadelin-led team.
Yeah, and it just seems like this team is week in and week out in 1-goal games or 2-goal games. I think they've had 3 1-goal losses this season.
Oh, great pass down to Schreier on the doorstep. He couldn't get it out of his stick cleanly, but Towson collects. Berkeley, and they reset the shot clock. They said that possession changed, so not even just 60, a fresh 80 seconds.
That's big, and they've made these little hustle plays in between the lines. Denver really has got to dig in here, support your teammates.
Weber spinning through some traffic, somehow gets out of it. Shot from the wing, Kleben keeps it out.
Big save.
How can Denver clear? This at times has been an issue. Towson making it interesting, but Edinger able to get it over midfield. I think I saw a flag down.
Yeah, definitely saw a flag. That's going to be offsides for Towson. Just a little too aggressive on the ride. I think that's Schreier there you see jogging back in the hole, number 2 for Towson. So, classic freshman, right? You score a big goal to bring it within 1, and then you're just a little too ambitious on the ride and you go off sides.
So Denver can eat up some clock here, up by 1, and know that you're going to get a penalty whenever this possession comes to a close. Lampert dodging from X. Gives it up. Connell, who moves it along. Kelly had a nice day so far. Couple of goals. Step down shot. Silstrop wide. And now we'll get the penalty.
Silstrop going for 6 there. A little outside his 2-yard average of his goals today, but Denver's man up is lethal. Look for them to be just spaced out really well, sharp stick work. And again, number 5, they haven't stopped them a lot today. So if I'm a Denver feeder, I'm looking to that low left pipe for Silstrop. Richie Connell can also bring it from this lefty wing.
30-second man-up opportunity for Denver. Trying to extend this lead back out to 2. This is Silstrop here on the near side. He's got Connell. Time winding down on the penalty. Silstrop feeds inside. Manning! The extra man goal, and Denver's back up by 2.
So crisp by Denver's man up. And again, it's the senior leader running point on man up. Silstrop this time as a feeder. A nice little stick fake. And this is using the defense's momentum against them, right? He looks to that righty wing. He gets the Towson defense to kind of shift over to the right, and you throw the pass against the grain. And you got to give credit, too, for Manning. Again, just like we saw Schreier at the other end, that quick release on the crease is deadly on man up.
And then a big face-off win for Stathakis. So the clock continues to tick. Under 3 minutes now to play. And that 2-goal lead, 12-10. And Denver has the possession. Just about to say, these two teams, 3 of the last 4 meetings between the two have been 1-goal games. The only one in this streak that wasn't was last year, a 12-9 win for Denver out of Peter Barton.
Yep, and we talked to Coach Nads, too, again, just in regards to Towson, right? 12-11 overtime loss to Loyola, right? 12-11 overtime loss to Drexel, 13-12 loss to Stony Brook this year. So you flip those games and, they've got a winning record.
Yeah, and that Stony Brook loss, that goal, that game-winning goal came with under a minute to go for the Seawolves. So it has been grinded out, heartbreaking losses for the Tigers in 3 games that very much completely changes the outlook of your season. They still got a chance here. Down by 2. They've got the possession. Just under 2 minutes to play. And Sean Nadelin, knowing how important this possession is, will take a timeout. We will take one as well here. Down the stretch we go. Denver looking to hold off Towson. They lead by 2, 12-10. We'll be back with the end of this one. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Back here out of the timeout. Towson ball, 53 seconds on this shot clock. Just under 2 minutes to go in regulation. They trail by 2. 12th ranked Denver with 12 goals today. Shot from the wing. Kleben with a clean save.
And I was just about to say, if I'm drawing up a play, I'm drawing it up for 24 Nick DeMeo. Towson executes it to perfection, but Kleben just able to hold his ground. Oh, my gosh.
Look out. Individual effort. That shot wide. Connell's there for the backup. Makes that shot a little bit better.
I saw a flag down, too, on that opposite sideline.
So we will get another man up for Denver, and that may just about do it for this one.
Yeah. Slash 1 minute penalty. See 1:29 on the game clock. So you can virtually just stall this out. Maybe throw in an empty netter for good measure, but looks like Denver's going to be able to escape here.
They are bringing Luke Downs, the goalie, out of the goal to pressure out. They are going to have the goal empty. Just try to see if they can force a turnover. Colby Bars defending here. Some of this, too, I think, is you just try to dare Denver to shoot.
A little bit, yeah. Looks like this is Bobby McCuskey, 56 with the ball, senior. It's always interesting in these end-of-game situations. You try to practice these, but it's really awkward because you're at risk of guys getting hurt or guys getting slashed. So
nice move by Mick Kelly. Nice game for Kelly, the Towson kid, getting a chance to come back home, scores a couple of goals. J.J. Silstrop with 5 goals. Denver going to run out the rest of this man-up opportunity and likely try to run out the rest of this shot clock as well.
Yeah, I was impressed with Kelly's game. You mentioned he had an assist there too. Lampert with a goal and 3 assists. Silstrop leading the way. Noah
and going for the goal, we've got another flag down, and that will pretty much officially do it.
And this is where who knows what the ref are going to call. Pushed in. Did he land in the goal mouth?
Well, and then the question becomes, if you land in the goal mouth, but there's no goalie in the goal mouth, what is the penalty? So we're going to get this all situated by the officials. Under a minute to go. This is the close of what is the final non-conference regular season game of Coach Bill Tierney's career. And, I mean, for me, Mark, is probably the last game I'll have a chance to do with Bill Tierney on the sidelines. And I just want to say it has been an absolute pleasure having a chance to get to know him really well here over my time at LSN and Lacrosse TV. And a guy who has obviously done so much for this sport, but also for me individually, give us the amount of time he's given us throughout the last several years since we launched this network. So amazing. And I just can't say enough about not only the coach he is and what he's done for the game, but also the person he is off of the field as well.
No doubt. And that tough exterior that he portrays on the sidelines to a lot of his players, current and former, you know, he's just as nice of a guy off the field and generous. And, you know, he was so complimentary in our coach's call this week, just the view and the broadcast that you've done. And, you know, what a legend and what an impact he's had on our sport.
He calls a timeout, probably because he knows we're talking about him, so we get a chance to see more nice things. I will say I shared this story on the podcast earlier here in the season when he announced that this was going to be his final year. And I was a student journalist at Syracuse and working for the radio station up there, WAER, that broadcasts the students broadcast Syracuse men's lacrosse. And when he made the move out from Princeton to Denver, it was obviously a giant story for the sport. And so we wanted to see if we could get Coach Tierney on for an interview. Well, he didn't have to give us a ton of time, but not only did he come on once that year to talk about the expansion of lacrosse out west, he came on multiple times and did multiple interviews with multiple student journalists from Syracuse that year. And to me, thinking back on that and now having a chance to get to know him and what he's done now, I thought that said so much about his character and his love for the sport, wanting to continue to share his knowledge with not only the people that cover the sport daily and the people that he knows well, but even some student journalists who are still just trying to find their way in this business.
For sure. And it's those little stories like that, right? That, you know, you can look at his bio on paper on Wikipedia and it would take me 20 minutes to list off the accolades and all the wins and Final Fours and et cetera. But the little things like that are what people will truly remember about him as a coach at this level. And I'm sure, you know, you saw him right there at that timeout break. He's right up in the officials' grill, you know, talking to them, yelling at them. You know, he'll never be able to shut off this coaching ability that he has. And I'm sure he'll be involved and remain in the game to some capacity as his life moves on.
Well, he gets a win here in his final visit to Johnny Unitas Stadium to take on this Towson team. 12-10, your final. Denver led by 5 goals and an assist from J.J. Silstrop. They get the victory here on the road. They'll continue on looking to get back into Big East play as they make the trip to St. John's here on this weekend. And you know what, Marcus, we kind of got what we thought we were going to get with these two teams. At times, it was a defensive slugfest. Denver just a little bit more offense to come away with the win.
Absolutely. Just a bit of a slugfest, honestly, on both ends. The face-off guys scrapping, tough ground balls all over the field. And, Towson, I think, just got off to too slow of a start. Credit to Denver. Sometimes playing with those big leads is tough, and they were able to just maintain their edge throughout the game and hang on for a big victory tonight.
They jumped out to a 6-0 lead, and they lead for the entire game on their way to a 12-10 win. But that's going to do it for us here from Towson, Maryland. For Marcus Holman, our entire crew, I'm Travis Eldridge. We say so long from Johnny Unitas Stadium. Once again, Denver winners 12-10 over Towson. We'll see you again here. Thanks for watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV.